Man, go ahead and get a chill, get some popcorn. It's time to get our mind right with the Mind on Greatness podcast. What's the deal, baby? Y'all didn't know. Big boss hog, boss dog, cake pole through the door, here to talk this football. The Houston Texans need to revamp their whole offensive line. This is not going to be a long video, okay? What I saw yesterday, Texans versus Jets, CJ Stoud got sacked so many times, bro. The Texans offensive line is trash, okay? And I was going to be on Bobby Slowick's head, but now I see that the offensive line is trash. I see why his play calling is limited on what he can call, right? Because the offensive line cannot protect CJ Stoud, okay? They can't protect him. You know, they can't even hold up. You know, and it's frustrating to watch because this team is so talented. They got so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball, and they can't do anything. You know what I mean? They can't do the plays that, you know, the long development plays where, you know, this guy, you know, is gonna run a post or a 9 route. You know what I'm saying? They can't do that because the offensive line ain't blocking. They getting towed up. So if I was the Houston Texans, I would get rid of everybody on the offensive line in the offseason. Now, in middle of the season, you got to make some trades, right? And I got some options. You need to trade Kenyon Green. Trade Kenyon Green. Get rid of him, right? Kenyon Green got to go. Trade him and see if you can get an offensive lineman. I know they trying to get another weapon at receiver, but it's just not that many options. I'm hearing that, you know, they probably looking into getting Adam Thielen from the Carolina Panthers. I feel like that's a safe pick, a safe pickup, and I think that's a good pickup. I actually would like that. You know, I was hearing Jacoby Myers from the Raiders. I don't see the Raiders trading Jacoby Myers. You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't see them giving him up easily. Pause. I think, you know, you're going to have to give up somebody with a name to get a Jacoby Myers. I just don't see that happen. So they got to basically do something with the offensive line because they're not going to make it. You know, and I'm just keeping that being. They're not going to make it into the playoffs or deep in the playoffs with this offensive line. They got to do something. They got to make some moves. So I don't know what Nick Cassera got up his sleeve. Nick Cassera is a master wizard. You know, you got people like, now they talking down on Nick Cassera. They went from talking down on him to cheering for him. Now they back talking down on him. I believe in Nick Cassera. You know what I mean? And I believe he'll figure something out. You know what I mean? So if I was the Texans, they need to address this offensive line issue today. Like, he need to be actively calling to try to see how he could get something. Somebody who could come in and step in, who could help us, right? People was talking about Patterson, you know, put Patterson at left guard. That's cool. But I don't believe Patterson can help us. You know, I think it just depends on the matchup, right? You know, because he did well against the Colts, you know, before he got injured. That drive that they went down the field and scored that touchdown, you know, he did well against the Colts. But like I said, I just think it depends on the matchup, right? You know, and the personnel of the other team. You know, if you're going against the Baltimore Ravens, who's revamped, you know, they added another weapon to their offense. You got the Kansas City Chiefs. They got DeAndre Hopkins. All these teams are loading up. You know what I'm saying? The Texans got to do the same. So if I'm the Houston Texans, we need to get out here. We need to get another offensive lineman. I don't know who to get, but they need to address the offensive line. Okay? That's the most important thing right now. We have everything else. We got a running game. We got Joe Mixon, who's really, in my opinion, I feel like is the best running back in the league. And I know a lot of people going to say Derrick Henry, look at the numbers. But Derrick Henry got a better offensive line than Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is running the ball behind this offensive line, this horrible offensive line. This is why I say Joe Mixon is the best running back in the NFL. He's behind this offensive line who is trash, and he eating. He's scoring touchdowns. He getting over 100 on the ground. I think he had over 100 or close to 100 yesterday. So it's just like each time he get the ball, he gonna do something. You know what I mean? And he's proven that he's the best back in the league. I think people are not really paying attention to him like that. They need to put a microscope on Joe Mixon, because he's the reason why this team, offensively is staying afloat. I'm not gonna lie to you. CJ Stoud is trying, but he can't do that much when he don't have time to throw the ball. You get what I mean? So, like I said before, I think the Texans they need to, before the trade deadline, because I think the trade deadline ends November 4th or November 5th, they need to get active. They need to be trying to get another offensive lineman, because you got the Detroit Lions coming, or I think they go up there. No, they come down here. You got the Detroit Lions coming to Houston, right? And that's a top team. They got a good defense. They got a run game. The Houston Texans got to figure out how to put points up. The Detroit Lions just put 50 on the Titans last week. So the Texans got to do something. You know what I'm saying? They have to do something before the trade deadline. The trade deadline, I think it's in a couple of days. And like I said, it's on the 4th or the 5th. They need to do something. Get somebody who can help this offensive line. I don't know who to get, but I'm pretty sure they can look through the landscape and figure out who is what. I don't care. Just get somebody who could come in here and be an asset to this offensive line. Because the offensive line is horrible. Even Laremy Tunsil, right, who's the highest paid left tackle in the league, right, who some people were saying was the best left tackle, but it's not looking like it. You know what I mean? Like, these dudes are horrible, man. And if I'm the Texans in the offseason, everybody got to go. Everybody. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, soon as the season over, everybody got to go. Laremy Tunsil, I look to move him. You know what I mean? I trade him. I trade Titus Howard. I trade Patterson, Juice Scruggs. All of them got to go. Right? And if I'm the Texans this offseason, I'm drafting offensive linemen. Right? I'm trying to get a first-round pick, so I would trade Laremy Tunsil, try to get some first- and second-round picks. Like, I'm not playing. The Texans have everything they need. The only thing left they got to fix is the offensive line. That's it. The defense is set. You know, they could get another safety, because I think Jimmy Ward is finished. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. I like Jimmy Ward. I think he's a good veteran presence, but I think he's done. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only position where I'm like, okay, they need to draft another safety or trade for another safety, you know. So, you know, they need to look into that in the fall, in the offseason, my bad. And then offensive line. You know, like I said, everybody got to go. If I was a general manager, if I could trade everybody right now and get replacements, I would do it. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was a general manager, but I'm not. There's a reason why I'm not a general manager. That's the reason I think Caserio is, I think, one of the top GMs in the NFL today. I would look to trade Kenyon Green, you know, and maybe another offensive lineman, and, you know, try to get a top left guard in there. You know what I mean? There's some top talent at guard in the NFL, you know, but the Texans got to be able to put together a package to get these guys. So we shall see. I mean, I just don't know right now, man. I don't know who they can move, but they need to address that. The Houston Texans are, you know, a good team, and, you know, but these games are entirely too close. And I knew it was going to catch up with him. And it caught up with him yesterday. You know what I mean? So, hopefully something happens. But, you know, it's just a lot. My frustration is the offensive line. You know, the defense can only hold up for so long. But they got to be able to protect CJ Stoud. And that's just what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Boss Guy.